I'm Jon Whitfield. I'm a Charlton supporter. It's Boxing Day. We're playing Cambridge United and I'm just off to the game. People are now more ordinarily talking about their mental well-being, and you know, if they could have that conversation at football, fantastic. You know, kills two birds with one stone. You know, watching Charlton and chatting about how poor, indifferent, how bad your week's been, or even how good it's been, and how it's impacted on you. You know, those are the things now. I think that football's become about. To be honest, there isn't a day goes by, there isn't a match goes by where someone doesn't come up to me and talk about their mental well-being, because I've been quite open about mine. It's nice that people at football recognise that, and it's nice to have a conversation about how things are for people, because it's difficult for people sometimes to have blokes talking about their well-being, and you know, it isn't the norm, but it's becoming more so. If you were to listen to other football clubs, we're a bunch of train spotters, which would be considered to be a boring person that really doesn't know an awful lot about anything but the detail about train spotting. It's a derogatory kind of expression. But your average fan, I wouldn't want to offend anyone by calling them average. We're all superb. Expectations of today's match. On paper, should be a walk in the park. However, such are the vagaries of football, it could go any way, couldn't it? I'd like to see a comfortable win. I'd like to see us build on a 5-0 win away from home. You know, 2 or 3-0 would be great. As long as we're not conceding goals, I'm all over that. But yeah, nice comfortable win. Our traditional walkout song, been around forever and a day. Part and parcel of a Charlton match day. No need to change it. Yeah, if the record ain't broken, you don't need to change it. Keep it as it is. There's some traditional things in football that should be remaining traditional. And for Charlton, Red Robin, definitely one of them. Very much that ownership, that this is our ground. Charlton's always been one of those clubs that go back to day one. The ground was hand dug out by supporters to form the Valley as it was back in the day, and played there up until the mid-80s, when the ground became in a degree of disrepair, and we lost the ground. We then went to play, unfortunately, Crystal Palace at their ground, Selhurst Park, for some years, and then on to we moved over to West Ham's ground, the Bowling at the time, which wasn't as bad, but it still wasn't the Valley. By the time we were getting to come back to the Valley, it was overgrown, it was vandalised, it just needed a lot of time, a lot of commitment, a lot of love put back into it, because it was such a state. It was quite sad to see it go into such disrepair, but fans brought it back to life. Game here was 31st of January 1976. I stood on the East Terrace. It's nothing really meaningful about a bit of concrete, you'd think, but yet 48 years later, I'm still here. But it was stood on that East Terrace that really was the start of this for me. I still look back on that first game here. 3-2 to Charlton. The most prominent, unique thing about this ground is that originally it was built and hand dug out by supporters. And it's that legacy of supporters having done that initially that really, I think, is the heart of Charlton. That it's a proper fans club. Supporters feel that they're part of the club, being at the Valley, and it's an integral part to your identity as a football supporter. That it's your attachment to the ground, it's your attachment to the home stadium. In the past, we've been messed about. The club has been bought and sold for £1 in its time. No football club should be played with as a as a vanity project. If we've got owners now that are serious about developing it, serious about a commitment towards establishing Charlton as a primary club in the EFL, fantastic. I'm all in support of that. If they can do that with fans, engaging with fans as part of that process, I think they might find that their journey towards that is more efficient, more successful, because they're taking fans on that journey with them. So arguably we are in better hands, arguably, but it's still early days, because we haven't forgotten what's happened in the past as a fan base, and we're quite tainted by that, hurt by that to some description, but mindful of that. Mindful that we've had people come to Charlton that they're not really fans of the club, are they? They're in it for themselves. Well, the club's bigger than that. The club is bigger than just one person and a vanity project. The club is all of this. The club are these people. I see the mascots are making their way in. I don't normally have anything to do with them, but obviously for creating interest for younger supporters, they play their role. Those that want to high-five a large dog or a cat can have their moment, but that really isn't my thing. But each to their own, and it does serve a purpose. I've done 90 out of the 92 clubs in the UK, league clubs in the UK, and I don't think any of them have access to a fans lounge like this free of charge. They're normally a paid-for facility that's part of a corporate entity, but this one free of charge. As long as you've got a ticket to come to the game, you can get in. I've been involved in some scrapes with Charlton, at home and away. I've been on the wrong end of a banning order that stopped me seeing football for 3 years. I've been arrested. I've had an awful lot of drunken times at Charlton, and one of the biggest challenges for me now is being dry at football. Oh, good. How was yours?
Fine, yeah.
Yeah, good. I've now been dry, completely dry, for 5 years. And to do that within a football environment, when you think of all the alcohol that's freely available and how alcohol is an accepted thing in society and at football, and it plays its part, it produces income and revenue for the club, and I understand that. The biggest challenge for me at football is to stay dry. The biggest challenge for me is to keep my head around me whilst other people might be losing theirs. I had a nervous breakdown going back to 2016, and I was hospitalised. I was in the psychiatric unit, and that became, amongst the Charlton community, amongst my friends at Charlton, that became quite widespread knowledge. But the support and the outpouring of warmth and love towards me and care at the time when I was off football at that time, that knows no bounds. Was someone squeaking away in the corner?
Is it cold out here?
No, mate. This is a fantastic club. This is supporting people when at their lowest. This is giving a degree of consistency, a degree of support for when things aren't at their best, in your life. And it's that constant. It's always there. And sometimes people talk about the Charlton family, the Charlton community. I know what that's part of. I know what it's like to be part of that. I know what support that can give out. There isn't a day goes by now that I don't have a conversation at Charlton with someone about their mental health. I think that works. Because they can see what we've got around us. And I think as we talk about these things, as we talk about our mental well-being, as we talk about our dalliance and our devil of alcohol and our problems with that, it becomes more mainstream. We've normalised it. It's engaging in that conversation. The moment we wrap up and don't talk about things, internalise things, that's when it becomes a problem. So it's been part of my recovery. It remains part of my recovery, It's nice to see people enjoying themselves. If they can enjoy themselves having a beer at the football, fantastic. It's knowing when to stop. It's knowing when alcohol is taking over that you realise that you've got a problem. But you can still have that match day experience, still be part of what's going on, minus the alcohol. Football's nothing without football fans. Are the heartbeat of this club. It's this generation, it's the future generation of Charlton supporters, and it's the generation after that, and after that. And that's about sustainability and growth and longevity. You see how the game's grown, you see how other clubs have grown. Since we've been in League One and in the EFL, I quite often get asked, would you want to be back in the Premier League? And the answer is no. This is proper football. This is putting people at the heart of football. This isn't about someone's profitability. This isn't someone's corporate greed. This isn't about a glossy image. This is about a community football club. Great ball.
It's going to come back though. Oh, next up. Oh. Give this man a Grammy.
Oh yeah, it's a bottle place.
Wake up, you sleepyhead, get up, get out of bed, cheer up, the sun is red, live, love and be happy, what if I be blue, now I'm walking through fields of flowers, rain may glisten, but still I listen for hours and hours, I'm just a kid again, doing what I did again, singing a song, when the red robin comes, hopping along.
As the 15-minute halftime ends, Jon is off to his seat in the corner of the Valley Stadium. Any more socializing will have to wait for the final whistle since the match is about to restart, and the Addicts really need these 3 points. But inquiring minds want to know, what kinds of subjects get discussed among friends at the half?
I'd like to see us stay at the Valley, which has been our ground for forever and a day. I'd like us to stay there. Wouldn't want some shiny, soulless bowl away from here. This is a community club, and it needs to stay here. It needs to be part of South East London, and that's important. It's about remaining realistic about what we can do as a club, about how we can grow that, how we can sustain that, and how we can develop. And that's the important thing going forward. But I'll reiterate, the important thing for me personally, as that long-standing fan, is that we remain our heartbeat in South East London at the Valley. I'm glad we're not in the Premier League. I'm glad we're not higher up than we are, because VAR would be continually to ruin the game. It's seen as a benefit for supporting the officials in the refereeing and adjudicating within the game. Personally, I think it's ruining it. Let the game play. Let the officials make the decisions in real time. Let's keep the game flowing. Let's increase the standard and the impact of officials within the game, rather than relying on millimetre technology and adjudicating that someone's toenail is offside. good look at what goes on in officiating in rugby and take an awful lot from that, and maybe impact some of that within football. I'll take that. 2-1. That'll do. That was normally a player who's had a good game who's scored, who's come out of the tunnel, just jumping at the end. That's it. Quite simple. Does what it says. It's a tunnel jump.
Jon Whitfield has his own post-game routine, and it begins at the fans' bar post-haste.
If we all want what's good for the club, we've still got to be that, just a little bit patient. Just a little bit.
Oh, now this is probably one you won't see for a long time. God bless my good friend.
Cheers, Carl. Goes back to what we're saying about people making the club. You know, a lot of these people have been known for a long, long time, and you know, it's what the club should be about. Should be about the people first and foremost. But you're the eternal optimist, Vince.
I am the optimist.
You are the optimist amongst us.
I'm the optimist of 9 Elms.
Is that what it says on the blue plug? The optimist of 9 Elms lives here. I was saying about your generational support for Charlton earlier.
Yeah.
How far back does it go?
So yeah, a long way. Dad's side. My nan was actually Arsenal, but before that it went on a little bit longer. So yeah, so Dad used to get a bus and walk up and come up. We've moved out a little bit further now, but
Yeah.
still the suffering continues.
The suffering continues, and for the next generation, which is great.
Absolutely, yeah. They can support whoever they want when they move out.
But until that point, yeah.
He's a smoothie, isn't he? He's a smoothie.
Well, we are here with.
We have a presence here, we have an involvement, and we are valued.